Hello and welcome to the media news on Ogun State Television. I am Simi Atabaru. President Bola Tinubu has renewed the appointment of Abdul Hamid Dembose as Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) and Ali Muhammad Ali as Managing Director of the News Agency of Nigeria (NAN) for another 3 years. Bayo Ononuga, the president's spokesperson, disclosed this in a statement issued. According to Ononuga, the second term of both chief executives would commence on October 20, 2026, following the expiration of their initial 3-year tenure. Tinubu first appointed Dembose and Ali to head the NTA and NAN, respectively, on October 20, 2023. Ononuga said President Tinubu had urged both executives to justify the confidence reposed in them by sustaining their commitment to the mandate of their respective organizations and advancing the administration's renewed hope agenda. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has introduced an online system allowing candidates seeking admission into Nigerian tertiary institutions through the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, to verify and upload their O-level result from home. The new service, which initially covers results issued by the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, is expected to reduce candidates' dependence on computer-based test centers for O-level result uploads, particularly during periods of high patronage. Under the arrangement, JAMB will electronically verify candidates' results directly with the relevant examination bodies before the results are uploaded to their profiles. The board, in a statement by its acting director, Public Affairs and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, said the initiative was designed to make its services earlier, faster, safer, and more convenient while eliminating challenges associated with the traditional manual upload process. According to JAMB, the system will also address cases involving misplaced or mixed-up paper certificates, submission of unverified or fraudulent results, as well as errors in the manual entry of subject and grades. The Nigerian Air Force has intensified its air operations against terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other criminal activities across the Northwest. This is contained in a statement in Abuja by the Director of Public Relations and Information, NAF, Air Commodore Ehime Ojodame. According to NAF's spokesperson, the strengthening deployment is critical in tackling asymmetric threat, as terrorists and bandits often exploit difficult terrain, mobility, and concealment to evade ground forces. The move reflects the service's resolve to sustain pressure on hostile elements, enhance area surveillance, and maintain rapid response capabilities within the joint operations area. Jodame quoted the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, as saying that the NAF would continue to optimize the use of air power to deliver decisive effect in support of joint operations. Aneke noted that the evolving security environment mandated timely intelligence, responsive air power, and seamless integration with surface forces. Across the world, governments are drawing a line on how young people use social media. The UK government has now moved to restrict social media access for teenagers, following the lead of Australia and a growing list of countries citing mental health, cybercrime, and online abuse as key concerns. But in Nigeria, where social media drives both innovation and crime, the debate is heating up. Should Nigeria copy this law, or will it kill the digital dreams of a tech-savvy generation? Taiwo Fabajo report.
Cyberbullying to dangerous online challenges and fraudulent activities like Yahoo, the risks facing Nigerian teenagers online are growing every day. Governments in the UK and Australia have now decided that the only way to keep children safe is to restrict their access to social media until they are older. In Nigeria, many parents agree that something must be done. They argue that weak parenting and a lack of digital education have left too many young people exposed to adult content, gambling, and online crimes. These supporters believe that if the government passes a law to ban underage access, it will force platforms like TikTok and Instagram to take responsibility for protecting our children.
Majority of the crime you see people commit today, it's by imitation on what they see. This kind of a law will help them to know or not to be honestly exposed to those things they cannot manage.
There is a big abuse of the social media and controlling it, the usage for underage, especially people under, in fact I can extend it to under 17 or 18 because a lot of distraction from their studies.
But there's a loud pushback from the youth. Many young Nigerians say that social media is not just a playground, it is their classroom. Thousands of Nigerian teenagers use this platform to learn coding, graphic design, and digital marketing. They argue that if the government cuts off access, they will be cut off from the global economy.
Personally, I think it's not a good idea in the Nigerian economy because we all know about how the creators' economy is growing, and if they ban it, that means teenagers will have to wait a longer period of time to key into and be able to express their creativity. Because currently there's a rise of social media influencers, both young, and they're doing great things.
I feel like there are more pros than cons to like reading the Gen Zs, because first off it helps us like communicate better. We get information way more easier than the normal archaic, that's the old way of getting information.
I feel like it should be regulated because social media is like exposed to other kind of things that like 16 years old should not be watching.
So how do you enforce such law in a country as big as Nigeria? Experts suggest that the country already have the infrastructure to fix this with the National Identity Database and Bank Verification Numbers, BVN. They also believe that Nigerian government can make it mandatory for social media companies to verify the ages of all Nigerian users.
It only needs a form of collaboration among agencies that are responsible for data collection, and in this way NCC will be a very suitable ground to give room for this kind of collaboration to work.
We shouldn't copy anything done by another government, hook, line and sinker. We should look at what fits our own system, what works for our own peoples.
As the world moves towards stricter online borders, Nigeria stands a crossroad. Should we prioritize a total ban, or should we invest in better parenting, digital education, and smarter technology regulation? One thing is for certain: the digital future of Nigerian teenagers depends on the choice we make today. Taiwo Falajo, OGTV News.
The 36 state governors are facing growing pressure to account for how they have spent public funds disbursed as revenue by the Federation Account Allocation Committee in the last 3 years. This scrutiny follows the revelation that the Federation Account disbursed about 47 trillion naira to the 3 tiers of government in the 3 years since the removal of petrol subsidy. This was as the federal government, 36 states, and 774 local government shared a cumulative 93.216 trillion naira as revenue from the Federation account between 2017 and 2025, with more than half of the amount distributed in the 3 years following the economic reforms introduced by the federal government in 2023. These figures were disclosed in a document obtained from the Federal Ministry of Finance. The federal government, states and local government received about 47 trillion naira from the Federation account in the 3 years following the reforms, exceeding the amount shared in the preceding 6-year period and reigniting the debate about the benefit and consequences of the subsidy removal policy. Meanwhile, bilateral trade between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates rose by 66.7% to about $5 billion in 2025 from $3 billion in 2024, highlighting growing economic ties between both countries as they move towards formalizing a comprehensive economic partnership agreement. The development was disclosed when the UAE ambassador to Nigeria, Salem Said, paid a courtesy visit to the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Shola Enikonlaye, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja. In a statement issued by Kimebi Imomo Time, spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Shamshi, said the UAE had already ratified the trade agreement and expressed optimism that Nigeria's completion of its domestic ratification process would further unlock investment opportunities. He said the CEPA could deepen investment in key sectors, including manufacturing, services, energy, and financial services. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASIN, has called for a fundamental shift in the way petroleum regulatory performance is assessed, saying regulators should be judged by the results they deliver in the oil and gas industry rather than the number of regulations, licenses, and approvals they issue. The association made the demand in its communique issued at the end of the three-day PENGASIN Energy and Labour Summit 2026 in Abuja, where it called for measurable performance indicators to determine whether regulatory interventions are actually delivering investment, production, and growth in Nigeria's petroleum industry. Signed by PENGASIN President Festus Oshifo and General Secretary Jerry Ama, the association urged regulatory authorities to develop key performance indicators for their operations and ensure that regulatory effectiveness is measured by outcomes achieved across the industry. The association said regulators must be firm, fair, and fast in discharging their responsibilities while providing clear regulatory requirements, improving the speed of approvals, ensuring consistency in decision-making, and strengthening communication with industry stakeholders. Moving to the foreign scene, Ukraine will host
ẹ káàsán ẹ sì kú iṣẹ́ òní. Ìròyìn wa fún ti ọ̀sán òní la mú wá fún yín láti iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn nílùú Abẹ́òkúta. Fọlá Adésínà Green ni oníròyìn yín. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu ni ó tún ti ṣe àtúnyànsípò fún Abdulhamid Dambos gẹ́gẹ́ bí adarí àgbà fún iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn àpapọ̀ ilé wa ìyẹn Nigerian Television Authority NTA àti Ali Muhammed Ali gẹ́gẹ́ bí adarí àgbà fún àjọ tó mójútó ètò ìròyìn tí a mọ̀ sí the News Agency of Nigeria NAN fún sáà mìíràn tó jẹ́ ọdún mẹ́ta. Báyọ̀ Ọ̀nànúgà tí ó jẹ́ agbẹnusọ fún níléeṣẹ́ ààrẹ ló sọ èyí di mímọ̀ nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan gẹ́gẹ́ bí Ọ̀nànúgà ti ṣàlàyé sáà ìṣàkóso kejì fún àwọn ọ̀gá méjèèjì wọ̀nyí ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 20 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2026 látẹ̀lé sí bí sáà ìṣàkóso àkọ́kọ́ èyí tó jẹ́ ọdún mẹ́ta yóò ṣe tẹnubọ̀pọ̀. Tinubu ni ó kọ́kọ́ yan Dambos àti Ali gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀gá àgbà sí àwọn iléeṣẹ́ kó wá wọn ni ó kọ́kọ́ yàn wọ́n sípò ní 20 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2023. Ọ̀nànúgà wọ́n ṣàlàyé wípé ààrẹ Tinubu rọ àwọn ọ̀gá àgbà méjèèjì ọ̀hún wípé kí wọn ó má ṣe dojú ìgbọ́kànlé èyí tí òun nínú wọn bolẹ̀ nípa rírí wípé wọ́n túbọ̀ fi ara jìn lórí iṣẹ́ èyí tí wọ́n yàn wọ́n sípò rẹ̀ ní àwọn iléeṣẹ́ kó wá wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìgbìmọ̀ ìṣàkóso òun èyí tí ó gbé ìlànà ìṣàkóso rẹ̀ lé ìsọdọ̀tun ìrètí yóò ṣe máa tẹ̀síwájú láti máa mú ayé dẹrùn fáwọn èèyàn àwùjọ. Àjọ tó mójútó ètò ìdánwò àṣewọlé sí àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ńláńlá gbogbo nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ìyẹn àjọ Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB ni ó ti ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìlànà ọ̀tun kan èyí tí yóò fún àwọn àdíje fún ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ńláńlá láàyè láti lè máa lọ fi èsì ìdánwò oníwèé mẹ́wàá wọn sí ojú òpó ayélujára àjọ elétò ìdánwò náà tí wọn yóò sì máa ṣe àyẹ̀wò rẹ̀ fínífíní láti ilé. Ìlànà ọ̀tun yìí ni wọ́n ṣàlàyé wípé yóò fi ààyè gba àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà láti máa fi ìdánwò oníwèé mẹ́wàá wọn sí ojú òpó àjọ elétò ìdánwò náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìrètí ti wà wípé yóò mú ẹ̀dínkù bá bí àwọn adíje fún ètò ẹ̀kọ́ láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ńláńlá gbogbo ṣe ń dára dé ẹ̀rọ ayárabíàṣá kọ̀ǹpútà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló ní àwọn ibùdó tí wọ́n ti ṣe àwọn ìdánwò náà ni wọn yóò tún fi sí ojú òpó ayélujára ní pàtàkì jùlọ ní àkókò èyí tí àwọn tó fẹ́ fi èsì ìdánwò náà sójú òpó ayélujára bá pọ̀ yóò lè jẹ́ kó rọrùn fún wọn níwọ̀n ìgbà tó jẹ́ láti ilé ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe. Lábẹ́ ètò ọ̀hún ni àjọ JAMB ti ṣàlàyé wípé yóò fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní àǹfààní láti lè fi èsì ìdánwò wọn ránṣẹ́ kó tó di wípé wọn yóò gbé wọ inú àkọsílẹ̀ èrò akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àjọ ọ̀hún nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan èyí tí adelé adarí fún ètò ọ̀rọ̀ ará ìlú àti ìlànà iṣẹ́ ní àjọ náà ìyẹn ọ̀mọ̀wé Fabian Benjamin fi síta ló ṣàlàyé wípé èròǹgbà yìí ni wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ láti jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ ó lè túbọ̀ rọrùn kó sì lè yá kánkán ní àjọ ọ̀hún nígbà tí yóò mú gbogbo ìpèníjà èyí tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ìlànà tí wọ́n ti ń lò látijọ́ kúrò. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ JAMB ti wá ṣàlàyé ìlànà ọ̀tun yìí ni yóò ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ ìlànà ọ̀tun yìí ni yóò mú ọ̀rọ̀ wípé bóyá akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kò mọ ibi tó ju ìwé ẹ̀rí rẹ̀ sí kúrò àbí bóyá àwọn ìkọlùkọgbà kan ń wáyé nígbà tó jẹ́ wípé gbogbo àwọn èsì ìdánwò èyí tó bá jẹ́ ayédèrú tí wọ́n fi sí ojú òpó náà ní àjọ ọ̀hún yóò yọ kúrò lágá bí ẹni yọ jìgá àti pé gbogbo àwọn kùdìẹ̀kudiẹ tó lè fẹ́ máa wáyé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ bí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ti wọ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga àti àwọn àkọsílẹ̀ tírú akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ni wọn yóò mú kúrò. Iléeṣẹ́ ológun òfurufú nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ló ti túbọ̀ sàn kìtìmápá lẹ́nu ojúṣe rẹ̀ láti gbógun ti àwọn kọlọ̀rọ̀ sí ajínigbé gbowó àwọn ajínigbé àti àwọn oníwà ipá mìíràn gbogbo pẹ̀lú àwọn oníwà ọ̀daràn gbogbo lọ́wọ́ ní ẹkùn àríwá sí ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Èyí ló wà nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan èyí tí adarí ètò ìkànsíra ẹni àti ètò ìròyìn ní iléeṣẹ́ ológun náà fi síta nílùú Àbújá, ìyẹn ọ̀gágun CMA Ejodami gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbẹnusọ fún iléeṣẹ́ ológun òfurufú nílẹ̀ wa náà ti ṣàlàyé. Èyí ni iléeṣẹ́ náà yóò túbọ̀ rò bí ó ti ń kó àwọn ènìyàn lọ sí àwọn agbègbè tí ó ń dúnkokò mọ́ àlàáfíà àwùjọ náà, pẹ̀lú bí àwọn kọ̀lọ̀rọ̀ sí, àwọn oníwà ipá àti àwọn ajínigbé gbogbo ṣe ń dúnkokò mọ́ àwùjọ tí yóò sì fi ààyè gba àlàáfíà láwùjọ ìlú. Ìgbésẹ̀ yìí ni iléeṣẹ́ ológun náà ṣàlàyé wípé yóò wá ìyanjú sí ọ̀rọ̀ wàhálà bí wọ́n ti ń lo àwọn ohun ìjà olóró àti bí ó ti jẹ́ wípé àwọn kọ̀lọ̀rọ̀ sí ẹ̀dá ń dúnkokò mọ́ àwùjọ. Ejodami ló tún ṣàlàyé pé ọ̀gá àgbà pátá nílé iṣẹ́ ológun òfurufú nílẹ̀ wa, ìyẹn ọ̀gágun Sunday Aneke ló sọ ọ̀rọ̀ náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti ṣàlàyé wípé wọn yóò ṣe àmúlò ìlànà ọ̀tun yìí láti lo àwọn irinṣẹ́ tí iléeṣẹ́ ológun náà ní láti lè tún fi pèsè àtìlẹ́yìn tó gbópọn fún ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò. Ẹ̀yin alákíá tó máa lọ lórí ìròyìn wa fún ti ọ̀sán òní. Títa ríro ni à ń kọ ilẹ̀, àmọ́ ṣá nígbà tí ó bá jẹ̀nà tán ni ó ń di ògè. Nítorí náà ìpamọ́ra àti sùúrù ṣe kókó lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, yóò ṣe ṣe o. A ò wá rí jù báyìí lọ fún ìròyìn wa tọ̀sán òní láti iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn nílùú Abẹ́òkúta. Ìpàdé tún lórí àwọn ìròyìn wa tó kù lónìí lédè Yorùbá. Títí ìgbà náà tá máa fi tó kàn sí ẹ̀ máa yá ṣe o.